Today we're going to work on laying out the ATSSB all-region snare etude in 4-measure sections, and just making sure that we now can put all of the rudiments that we worked on in the first few videos that I made for you. The paradiddles, the 7-stroke rolls, and also the flams, and the 9-stroke rolls. Please notice that during this piece, the 9-stroke rolls you need to be able to play them both left-handed and right-handed, and we'll review that as I'm going through laying out the segments of this piece. So, we'll do this tape at tempo 60. What I'll do is I'll lay it out in 4-measure blocks, and then after we do the 4-measure blocks, I'll play the whole piece at tempo 60 so you can get a really good idea about what it should sound like as you're practicing and getting it ready for your audition. So here's the metronome at tempo 60, and now I'll play from the downbeat of measure 1 to the tap in measure 5. 1, take, 2, take, 1, take, 2. Now make sure you recognize the difference between the flams in the first measure and the way that the second measure sets up with a tap. Here we go. And again. 1, take, 2, take, 1, 2, play, and. And one more time. 1, take, 2, take, 1, take, 2. Now we're going to take it from the downbeat of measure 5 to the downbeat flam at measure 9. Notice that the roll phrases change a little bit in their structure, in that the first note of measure 5 is a tap, followed by the rolls are then followed by 2 flams, and then the next roll is followed by a left-hand tap just before you go into the paradiddles in measure 7. Also make sure that measure 8 you play the 2 first flams accented, and then the second one's a little bit lighter in their intensity. Here we go. 1, take, 2, take, 1, take, 2. And again. 1, take, 2, take, 1, take, 2. 2, 1, 2. Two, 1, 2. Now going from measure 9 to the downbeat of 13, recognize that the 9-stroke roll sets up on the left hand in measure 9 to a left-hand release note in measure 10, and then a right-hand 9-stroke roll whose release note in measure 11 is the first note of 2 paradiddles. Also notice that in the next set of flams, in measure 12, you now have only the first flam accented, and the other 3 are now of less intensity. So here we go now from measure 9 over to the downbeat of 13. 1, te, 2, te, 1, te, 2, te. Again, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and. Two, 1, 2. Two, 1, 2. And now going into the last 4 measures, again, very similar to the 4 we just played. In fact, almost identical except for the last measure, measure 16. 1, te, 2, te, 1, te, 2, te. 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 'And now we're going to put together the whole piece at tempo 60, which is the tempo that I recommend that you get this piece to really work, and then we can start building on the tempo and building up each of the rudimental segments and each of the rudiments as we work our way through the piece at quicker tempos. So here we go. 1, te, 2, te, 1, te, 2, te. Start again. 1, te, 2, te, 1, te, 2, te. 1 more time. 1, te, 2, te, 1, te, 2, te. And very good. So the next time, the next tape will be at faster tempos, but for right now, everybody in my 6th grade and my 7th and 8th grade classes, I want you to work on this piece, and let's get it at really stable at tempo 60 within the next week or so. All right. See you on Thursday in class.